Hello everyone and welcome to another unboxing video. This time we are unboxing this little device here called TuneBot Studio by Overtone Labs. According to the message here on the box, it's supposed to allow me to sound better and tune faster. That's what we're hoping to achieve here. Just gonna quickly show you what the box looks like. Now, before everyone jumps at me with comments, I can already hear all the drummers saying, you don't need a tuning device to be able to tune your drums, and, real man tune drums by ear and all this kind of purist stuff. Now, the thing is, I don't even disagree with any of it. In fact, up till very recently, I haven't used any tuning device. I've tuned my drums by ear the whole time. But I do have a good reason to having become interested in a device like this. And the reason is that I'm going to be shooting a video where I'm comparing different drum head sets. So to get an accurate result, it's going to be very important that the drums are tuned exactly to the same pitch. Each of the four drum head sets I want to sound exactly, to be tuned exactly the same way. So the only differences are you'll be hearing between them are going to be actual differences between the drum heads. And for that reason, I thought a device like this would be actually perfect. It's something that maybe could be achieved just by tuning them by ear, but it would be, I would say, quite challenging, because somehow you'd have to make a record of, the pitch before you change the heads and then somehow recall that pitch. Anyway, long story short, I think this little fella here should be perfect to achieve what I'm trying to achieve. So once I've decided that I'm gonna need a device like this, I've done a little bit of research. I mean, this is a pretty popular device. I know it's quite well known amongst drummers. But I watched the video, which, many of you might have seen too, by Drumeo, where Jared is just comparing like 20 different tuning devices. Tuning or tensioning. The difference being some of the devices measure the pitch, such as this one and maybe some others. Some of the devices, I think there's one called Drum Dial, and that one measures the tension of the head. Now, after watching that video and just kind of giving it a bit of a thought, it made much more sense to me to get a tuner that measures the pitch than the one that measures the tension. Just common sense is just telling me that if you measure the tension of all the tension rods, you may not necessarily end up with even pitch, because if one of the lugs, if one of the screws is rusty, or any situation like that, any inconsistency like that, you can have a identical tension across the head, but it doesn't mean the pitch is going to be actually consistent. Anyway, that's what common sense is telling me. So once I've kind of come to that conclusion, I just thought that, again, this device seems like a perfect choice for achieving what I'm trying to achieve. So that's probably all the talking for the introduction. Now let's just open this thing and see what's inside. Now, as you can see, there is no post box this came in. The reason being, when it arrived, I wasn't sure what it was, so I just opened it just to find out that this was inside. So, forgive me, this is not an unboxing of the box inside the box, but I hope it doesn't matter. Okay, let's see what's inside. So, inside the box, there appears to be another box and some paperwork. So, build attention and just show the less exciting stuff. So, some paperworks being, well, I guess these are just instructions how to use it. I'm not going to get into, how to actually use this thing today. I'm going to take some time to learn how to use this device and sort of apply that knowledge in my next videos. That's the box. It's like a little plastic case, which is actually quite good. I'm liking this because this will allow you to sort of chuck this thing in your hardware bag or whatever bag you're using without kind of worrying that you're going to damage the thing. So I like that. Good thinking. So, and there is the device itself. Very light. This is what it looks like. It's got a clamp at the back, which is just to clamp it onto, your drum rim as such, which means when you tune your drums, this is going to stay in the same position. It's already presumably researched for that position to be the right one to get the, all your numbers, all your measurements. Now let's see where the battery is. Okay, so it's supplied with 2 AAA batteries, which is good. It's got a little protection. So let's remove that. Okay. A little bit of a struggle. Okay. It was kind of cool how I was able to open this without really even knowing where the batteries are. Very sort of intuitive. It opens very easy. So this would be the turn on button, I guess. Sure is. So again, for today, I'm just going to leave this video here and not go into any sort of operational details, simply because I don't know how to use it yet. So I'll take time to learn that, and you'll see the device in action in some of my future videos. So for today, it's going to be all. It's got a nice color display, which I like. The other thing is, as far as I'm aware, this is at least a second sort of reiteration of this device. I think there's another one called TuneBot Gig, which is somewhat more basic one, or possibly like a previous version. Not sure if there were any others. These are the 2 that I'm aware of, but this is the studio version, which is supposed to be the bee's knees. So let's find out if that's the case. So thank you very much for watching. That's going to be all for this video. And as I mentioned before, I will be doing a video where I'm actually using this device to tune a bunch of drumhead sets. So, this would tell us, hopefully, pretty well, you know, how this device works, how reliable it is. But I have high hopes. I think, you know, amongst this type of devices, I think this one is quite popular and quite sort of reputable. So I guess I'm going to see you in that video. I hope I do anyway. So here's the device. Just switched it off, so it's got some sort of a timer, which presumably you can set, and like auto off function. Okay, I think that's all for today. That's all for this video, and thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful in some way or another, and hopefully see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye bye.